just started testing this property. It's all right, it's not too bad actually. I'm just working through it on my iPad. As you can see, we've got plastic board, but we've got split load RCDs, and I've literally done the cooked circuit so far, which tested out fine. So clients just bought this place. They were going to be moving, but with the coronavirus, they've put that on hold and bought another property. So they just want it checking really. They're going to refurbish it, but they wanted the electrics checking. I don't think they're going to do much to the electrical, just maybe change socket fronts, etc. But they wanted it all checked. They're doing it the right way, getting it all checked before they actually start work. Yeah. So I've just gone around and counted up the number of sockets on a ring. Literally it does, let me spin the camera around. There's the fuse board, consume unit. Covers off because it's only me here, all right? I'm a competent worker, so I can leave that cover off. It's up high out of reach anyway. So literally there's a ring that does one. There's a basement below, 2 sockets, 3, 4. I've told the client about that. So 4, yeah, stay there. 5, just 5 sockets. So as I say, I'm just working my way through this sheet. So number of points served, it's 2.5. Twin and earth. And we've got a 60898. Type B on a 32. With a 6. KA braking capacity, 0.4. RCD is a 30 milliamp because we've got a dual RCD board. And then we can start doing some testing. So I'll take you up to the fuse board, consuming it. We'll do some disconnections. We'll start doing some testing and we'll fill up this bit of the form. So here we are, we're up at the mains. We've got a PME, looks like it's been converted, not by the DNO. So it probably was a TT at some point. It's got the old cable still coming in. Someone's then put an earth to an MET and then taken that. One goes, that little one is actually a cross bond that drops down to a gas pipe. For some reason they've put that in as well, but then it has got the main that follows the tails, goes up to there, and then someone has marked that up, gas and water bond, which is quite nice. I see this a lot. That's a little bit naughty because that's single insulated cables now outside of enclosure. So we're just going to be working on this circuit now. So we've got 2 neutrals, 2 lives and 2 earths. Kindly they've twisted them together, so I'm going to have to strip all that out, get those separate, and then I can do some end-to-ends. Okay, first we're going to do the R1, RN, and then R2. Try and run you through as I'm going. So this is my Q-Tech KT63 Plus. Love this tester. I get a lot of comments about this yet. This test is fantastic, and it's for me it's a good upgrade on the old 64. Okay, so board's now isolated to here. It's not locked off because I'm working on it. All we're going to do first is null our leads. Put you down one sec. So we know we've got good leads. So all I've done is split the cables there, the ring final circuit, and we're going to see if we've got a ring. And that's a good day for an electrician when he knows he's got a ring main that's complete. So that means that there's no breaks in that cable and it's one continuous loop. So all I'm going to do now is move on to the neutrals and the earths, okay? So just moving on to the neutrals there, same principle as the lives. That's too high. That's too high because it's not on my crocodile clip correctly. There we go, 0.22. And then the CPCs. This should obviously be higher because it's a smaller cable, so it's got to have a higher resistance. 0.59. So we're going to record them and then we'll move on. Right, so this is just a radial circuit. All you would do is connect onto the live and earth and then go and test at the point. But because this is a ring, we effectively got to create a figure of 8. So if you see, I've got an earth wire there with a corresponding live, which is the same cable. So you want to get the opposite. You want to get the opposite live cable. So in this instance, it's that one there, and then that one is that one, that's it, he wants to go to there. So we've now effectively created a figure of 8, and they're not touching. And now we can go round. Now we can go round with our plug-in tester. So we haven't even got to take socket front off until we're going to do like a visual inspection of some of the sockets. Plug him in, and then we should get a read in here. Okay, 0.21. So now you want to go around every socket that you found on that circuit and do exactly the same, then record this highest reading as your R1, R2. And then once you've done that, you move on to your insulation resistance, which we'll do in a second. And once you've done all that, you can either tick yes for polarity, fail, or non-applicable. And then we move on to a bit of live testing, and we'll do the RCD, okay? So I'll take you with you on this circuit. It's quite interesting. So I'm gonna go around now to every socket and plug in. Well, I thought I'd film this. So at that socket, we had 0.20. At that socket, I just tested 0.17. I've just come to this socket, okay? And we've got 2.60. And as you look there, see my tester? Well, it's gone in now. It wouldn't go into the socket fully, but give that socket a chance, because he might be sticky. It's in the kitchen. It's greasy and horrible. So it's getting better. We'll check this other side. Give the switch a few clicks. So 0.45, we're getting there. So that's getting lower. So they're not getting very low. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of tape. Get a piece of tape. And I will check that socket. I'll set you up. We may as well do it now while we're on the camera, eh? So that screw's completely knackered. Look, it's absolutely bent. Obviously a higher reading would indicate a radial, but the R1, R2 was actually the same. Sorry, it might indicate a radial if the reading was higher, especially when you do your ZS at your socket, but that's a horrible R1, R2 reading, so that indicates to me there's something wrong with the wiring. And generally, there's not a lot in here, so it's going to be at this socket. Look at that. Wow. Okay, so it's completely damp in the socket. Let's have a look. It's really damp and horrible. It's not the worst. What I'll do is I'll check those connections quickly. So they're fairly tight. Again, we got the twisted together earth. I just think that the socket might be knackered, to be honest. Right, let's remake it. Connect it back up. So I haven't remade them cables off because they're bloody short as it is. Look, struggling as it is, okay? Otherwise you could remake those off, but the copper's nice and shiny and bright, and the screws are actually nice and bright. I'm going to tighten him up. Nip that earth. Nip that earth down. And then put him back in there. Let me see what sort of reading we got, eh? I reckon this has got dodgy earth pins on it, this socket. Oh yeah. Try again. Right, you've just seen that live, okay? Just by making that socket off again, we've effectively solved the problem, right? Sorted. So now move on to the next one. Screw him back, move on to the next one. So when you're doing this kind of testing, you'll have 3 types of blokes, yeah? remember this, okay? It's quite good advice. One, they won't even test that, okay? They'll do it from the van. Two, they will test it, they won't do anything about it. And three, they'll test it and they'll do something about it, because what is the point in failing that for further investigation when it's just taken me a minute to rectify, yeah? So that just tells you the sort of free blokes that you're dealing with. So the client contacted me about this job and he sent me a picture of that fuse board, and I said, oh, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 circuits. I said, that'd be fine. I've got here. He's now said, oh, there's an outbuilding. Look. So there's a frigging outbuilding there with an horrible board in it, which I think is going to fail. It comes from here, right? And then I've just now discovered, look, move a hatch, find a basement. Hope there's no dead bodies down here. Oh, for God's sake, that chart, that tester. Right. I already know this is here, so I'm just sort of bigging it up for the camera, but look, gas, water is on the same bond, but it's continuous. Yeah, I didn't see a problem with that, because if you disconnected that, it would still be continuous. And that's at the end of the run anyway. And then look, we got a socket down here, which should be on the same circuit. 0.30, and that's actually the highest. So we'll put that on the test sheet. We'll put that on the test sheet. Right, so I'm just moving on to some insulation resistance between the live and the neutral. You just seen that, I know it's, oh. Well, that's improved slightly on the second test. Just make sure that is clamped onto them. That is. Yeah, it's improving now. Now I'm testing it, I don't know why. So that's just a pass, 1.387. So we're going to record that. All right, we'll move on to the live and the earths. As you can see, I've put some sleeving on those now, so they've got their own sleeve there. Okay. Try it again. No. So that's not going to clear. It's neutral and earth. So 0.97, we'll do it one more time. No. Brilliant, actually, the circuit that you come to test is dog dirt. Look, it's actually got a cross on it. Almost like the last bloke that was here knew something was a bit iffy with it, yeah? So incidentally, this radial was the highest reading. So we're just gonna perform a ZS test, 0.64. While we're here, we'll put the RCD on auto. So we got automatic 30 milliamp RCD. Most common types, that's where they give you the auto on that. Type AC test. So that will pass, should pass on the half times test, and then it used to start to see it tripping on the 1 and the ×5. Okay, 1. 2. 3. 4. And then we run back to the tester, check the results. And this test is great, look, full pass, and then we need to record the highest on ×5, so 12 milliseconds on our test paper. 12. Done. Work through that. So polarity is fine. Test button's fine. Polarity is fine. AFDD is non-applicable. And then if the circuit's finished, which I never selected because I always double check it at home, go back to the next one. Then I'm just going to work my way through. So circuit 3. It's going to be water heater / boiler, and then lighting down here, I presume. Yep, so that water heater circuit comes to here. Then for some reason, obviously it weren't long enough, they've moved it. It's extended it, which is fine to here. But then somebody's been in and done that. So you get your finger in there. It's also got single insulated cables just lashed into the Salus programmer thing. All right. So that will go down, but we'll do some testing on here first. I won't show you this now because we've gone through the basics, but it's pretty much the same as, you don't need to do end-to-ends on this because obviously only got one cable, but we need to do an R1, R2, so we link up the live and the earth. So I've got a circuit marked up, lighting here. I've gone through absolutely everything through this house and I can't find what that feeds. It says lighting unknown, so how the hell can I test it with I don't know where it goes? So I'm gonna have to move on from that one, just put lighting unknown, can't test, and now I'm going to move on to that, which is outbuilding. Sockets are going to be up, and then the rest of the lights. I've just checked, this lighting circuit does the rest of everywhere else, so it's pretty bad, but it's one lighting circuit. So that outbuilding, I know, is fed into 6mm, runs to here, where it's got an isolator, and then it almost looks like it comes out in 2.5. Jumps up. Actually, there's a hatch here. Let's get the steps. So, jump up on the steps, follow that 2.5, which comes here, comes to there, which is again is another bit of 2.5. So that's definitely inadequate. Then dives out of that wall. May as well show you. Comes out there. And then let's go for a walk. Okay, so let's just go back to basics. We know that armor's coming into that main switch, which is rated at 40 amp. So what the hell is protecting that 2.5 cable? Well, let's go and have a look. Because it's in 6mm, but it ain't really, is it? It's 2.5. So the outbuilding's on a 20 amp. Oh, it's tough. It's quite a long run, isn't it? I don't know. I'm not going to test it because I'm not happy with that. I've made a bit of a decision. I'm going to test up to this point here. I'm going to disconnect this, leave it out. Yeah, I'm going to tell him it's inadequate for what's down there. So disconnect it here. Nice to see a 6mm armoured, wouldn't it? Then you can at least know that the circuit's true all the way through, and then he could run power and lighting off of that, no problem. But yeah, that might be another job if he wants me to do that. But anyway, we'll test it here and we're going to disconnect this leg. I've not disconnected it. I've tested this 6mm, which tests out perfectly to this isolator. I've left it connected because I'm not going to disconnect it for the client, but I'm going to put it on the test sheet there. I'm going to make it perfectly clear that I've only tested that 6mm and I don't really want anything to do with that 2.5 cable. Just moving on to this last ring final and lighting circuit, and first thing I noticed, I don't know if you can see it. Where is it? If you weren't very careful, look. It's a huge gouge out of the cable, the copper showing, look. It's always nice. Just doing a walk around with these last sockets. Got to 5 so far. Oh, lovely. So he's loose. He's got a graping hole where you can see the cables. Oh gosh. Gets better this place, doesn't it? 6. Right. So there's a little bit of investigation to do on these. I'll make them safe anyway, I'll screw them back. I'll have to put on the test sheet what I found. Oh, everyone keeps asking about me snivelling. I've got really bad hay fever. A drink of water. I'm just testing out this last ring circuit. The neutrals were fine, 0.31. The lives, 0.29. I'm going to remake that off to get rid of that horrible bit. And then come to the earths. That means open circuit, right? So we're going to have a quick investigation. If we can rectify it today, we will. If we can't, it's going to go down as further investigation needed. But we're going to have a look now. This is the 4th socket I took off. I'll do you reckon? Might have found it, eh? Right, let's go to the van and we'll sort this out while we're here. I'm not changing the box, I'm just going to make sure the circuit's sound. Look, that one's not even remotely connected to anything. Look. What the hell? So it goes up behind and he's bought it. So there is enough length, but for some reason he squashed it behind the box, look. So I'm going to go and get some Wagos and a bit of earth and we'll make that off. Well, I just want to make it clear, I've fixed this socket now. I haven't changed the box. So you might say, you've done all that, why don't you change the box? Because the client wants to know what's going on with the fixed wiring. I told him, do you want me to change any bits to make it sort of get there? And he said, no, leave it, because we're going to change all the socket fronts and that anyway. So make sure the fixed wiring's okay, but just leave any sockets in that are broke, we don't care. So it will go down as a fail because of that, because you can get your finger in and potentially touch a live socket, but he doesn't care. As long as he's got the test results for the wiring and that's okay, he's happy. So I've managed to fix that with a couple of Wagos in the back there. We'll run down to the board now. I've not tested it yet, so well, I'm hoping it's that. All right, let's go. So we just repaired the socket. Fingers crossed we've resolved the earthing issue, yeah. Hallelujah. Right, that's got ring continuity now, great. So we sorted that out on the day rather than putting it down as either a fail or needing further investigation. Just trying to do an R1, R2 at this light, look. Might take that home and improve my moustache actually with that, look. Last circuit I'm testing, lighting. I've just done all my checks. Insulation resistance was not as high as I'd like it, but it's still passed. I'm just going to see, this is one DIY job, seeing if they actually earthed this metal switch plate here. What do you reckon? Cast your votes now, I reckon. Bloody hell, all the screws in this place are graunched. Have a look, see, eh? Yeah, your guess was as good as mine. Yep, I'll put a fly lead on it for him, shall I? That's a bit better, innit? It will do for a temporary, because this is all getting changed anyway, but at least it's safe. And you might say, oh, it was earthing through the screws, but sometimes you get back boxes. The old ones, they have no metal screws, so it wouldn't have created an earth through the back box there. So all the actual testing itself is done, actually physically checking wires and etc. is all done, testing that out. So I'm going to put the cover back on and then we're going to work through the inspection schedule. Right, I'm done on this one. That just gives you an idea. If you're thinking of getting your house tested, that's taken me 5 hours, okay, to do about 6 or 7 circuits. So if you employ someone for £90 and they take half an hour, they're not testing anything, all right? You need to make sure that you know what you're getting. So if you're paying for a visual inspection, they won't physically take any sockets off or physically check any wiring. They'll just do a visual. But if they're doing a full EICR test, they should be checking everything. So, yeah. See you on the next one. Take care.